This is Digital Work Diaries, a podcast where we talk about research stories on the changing nature of work, hosted by the Digital Work Lab of Victoria University of Wellington.
Welcome to a new episode. Today, I'm joined by Sven Debner, who is a DBI student in Germany and also the COO of HAIC Innovation. And today, we're going to discuss the transformation of IT services providers in the context of cloud services. Thank you for being here, Sven.
Thank you very much for the invite, Carlos. Very appreciate to be here.
The beginning, from the comprehensive review of the IT service provider landscape, how do you personally define human AI collaboration?
Well, I think first of all, it's worth to say that actually human AI collaboration is actually a trend, which is a perfect example how human AI collaboration has emerged from a number of previous trends. Take, for instance, automation or cloud orchestration, also machine learning technologies. All of those were there a couple of years before AI was even a topic. They were basically precursors to artificial intelligence. And basically out of them, human AI collaboration emerged in this area. So take, for instance, aspects of operating a cloud environment where basically technology surpasses the capabilities of humans. And they were taken over by scripts and algorithms in the case of automations, while parts which are really handled more efficiently by human beings, they still remained with them. So parts of it were moved to technology, and scripts, part of them were still handled by humans. That's actually quite a tangible example today. For instance, AI can provide a remarkable improvement how an IT service provider operates. On the other side, it can't completely replace certain roles. And sometimes even it creates new ones, as we've seen in the last couple of years. So what I think is that human AI collaboration actually fosters the evolution and the symbiosis between artificial intelligence and human beings.
Thank you very much. Your research highlights the skill gap and labor market shortages as significant challenges for IT services providers. In your opinion, what is the most impactful way human AI collaboration can address these specific issues?
Well, I think on the one hand side, what we've seen a lot in the last couple of years is that human AI collaboration really helps to bridge where we have a lack of expertise. So, for instance, for certain tasks where we previously needed quite highly qualified people, this can meanwhile be executed by lower skilled personnel simply by the use of AI technologies. So they can basically solve more complex tasks. If, for instance, you introduce large language models into a knowledge management system, that's probably a good example, that can significantly facilitate how you solve problems, how malfunctions are solved in a cloud environment. So that's a relatively good example. On the other side, also when, for instance, and that was pretty much the case during COVID, where we had a shortage of labor in certain regions of the world, especially for customer-facing IT service personnel, operations personnel. So, for instance, if you have a first-level support, this nowadays can easily be replaced by an AI chatbot. And on the other side, you have more qualified workers in the background that do quality checks, that adjust those AI bots. So again, this is a typical share of a human AI collaboration scenario.
Thank you. That's a very clear opinion. Given your experience in the AI services industry, could you share a specific example where you have witnessed human AI collaboration create unexpected challenges?
Yes, there are actually a number of those examples. Let's probably start with the enhancements on the positive side. So one area where a significant enhancement is done is basically cloud resource orchestration. This is something which is, first of all, completely automated for several years, especially with the hyperscalers, and nowadays even enhanced with AI features. also the compilation of those resources and potential economic optimizations, for instance, in the subscriptions with the hyperscalers, they are meanwhile automated. They are meanwhile optimized by FinOps tools. Many of them meanwhile AI powered, so basically to undertake financial economic optimizations of those resources. While on the other hand, the actual changes then of, for instance, the subscription plans with the hyperscalers or contractual changes, they of course usually need to be approved by a human being. But this is something where AI tools basically brought a significant enhancement. On the contrary, where we've seen challenges, a good example I would say is whenever either the customer himself or IT service providers basically start connecting large language models with data where, for instance, confidential customer information is included. So this is an area where also the service providers actually need to be cautious. You basically do not want to feed an AI client with confidential information, especially not a public one, which then later, of course, learns this information and could spread it at another side. So this is something where you need a stringent data protection rules and you need a state-of-the-art AI policy to make sure that things or information that are fed to a public AI technology are not confidential customer information.
How do you envision human AI collaboration enabling IT service providers in order to create a unique value proposition that hyperscalers cannot easily replicate, especially in areas such as customized service level agreements or regulatory compliance?
Well, let's maybe start with the customized SLA models. This is, of course, something that where AI technologies can massively help, especially the IT service providers, to come up with those. But this is nothing that the hyperscalers try or want to replicate. I mean, the business of a large cloud provider usually is based on scale and standardization. So aiming for customer individual customizations of those is actually nothing that's really involved into their business model. That's perhaps sometimes done for very large clients, but that's rather an exception. On the other side, many customers would like to have additional SLAs on base of those what the hyperscalers can provide, for instance, for how fast incidents are solved, etc., availability of personnel. This is something that usually the IT service providers can use to add an additional value on top of the hyperscaler services for their clients. And this is, of course, something where AI models can help to shape a more perfect model. On your second part of the question regarding regulatory restrictions, service providers can, of course, use AI technologies to verify whether their service setup is actually compliant against a certain regulation. If you look at regulatory frameworks today, they can become relatively complex. Take as example NIS2 or EUDORA in the European Union, HIPAA in the United States for the healthcare sector. So there's a massive complexity in terms of information and also mapping, for instance, an IT service provider setup or service compilation against those can be extremely complex. And this is something where, for instance, AI technologies can offer a massive advantage.
Okay. Looking at the future, particularly with the rapid evolution of cloud technologies, what emerging trends or advancements in AI do you believe will have the most profound impact on the nature and scope of human AI collaboration in the IT system ecosystem?
Well, I think we can already see today quite a few signs in different areas where it is visible, basically, that human AI collaboration is expected to bring further evolutions to certain areas. I think one of the main areas for sure is cybersecurity, where already AI technologies have a massive influence. On the other side, of course, automation, as we mentioned in the beginning of the interview, this is basically a trend where AI partially emerged from. The other one is machine learning, also mentioned before, and of course also in the area of operations. So how IT service providers operate cloud environments. Take, for instance, predictive maintenance as one example, or on the continuous improvement side, how do we actually enhance the effectiveness and the efficiency of service organizations, how processes are optimized, clustering of problems in ITSM systems, for instance, and also task intelligence. So these are all areas where human AI collaboration in future, in my opinion, will bring further evolutions, which at the moment we can't even project fully.
Yes, that's very true. Well, thank you again, Sven, for being here. I think that's a very clear explanation, a very simple point of view. Best wishes in the future development. Let's hope to see you again.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for listening to this Digital Work Diaries podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback and questions. Drop us a comment below, and we look forward to catching you next time.